Hey guys, my name's Lisa,
And I'm Brittany.
and this is the Imperfect Moms Club. In today's episode, we talk about those special dreams of motherhood we all have before reality hits us like a brick to the face. I mentioned this in the last episode, but breastfeeding was the thing that I really wanted to do. Like that was my dream for motherhood. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna breastfeed all of my children. They're gonna get all my milk. It's gonna be great. And no one tells you how hard it is, and nobody talks about it, and nobody tells you that sometimes it just doesn't work. So I just assumed I'd breastfeed my kids because that's what everyone did, and that's what you're supposed to do. Um, but I had to realize that I could either stress myself out and shame myself into oblivion for not doing one thing that other moms could do, or I could continue doing a great job at all the things that I can, and I give myself, a break and, realize that I'm doing a bunch of other things. So, just because I can't, they tell you that you need to be pumping 8 to 12 times a day to keep your supply up. Who has the time to do that? And I
Oh, yeah,
understand,
it's a full-time job.
I understand people that can, like, way more power to you. That's amazing. But I just can't. Like, I can't. And especially now with 2 kids, like, hello, like, like I can't just be like, okay, bye. Like, I'm gonna go pump for 30 minutes. Like, that's not happening. So yeah, so I kind of just had to like be proud of the things that I do. Because there will come a time where we'll get over this again. It's kind of, I guess it's just the postpartum like hormone stuff. Like I am in like a shame spiral about breastfeeding, but like I know it's gonna end. Like at some point, with Lillian, some point I was like, okay, you know what, she's getting formula, whatever. But I don't know. I pump occasionally, like, but I only have time to in the evening. Like we put Lily to bed, and then I'm like, okay, cool. My husband's on night shift first, so I'm like, all right, I guess I'll pump. But I really just, it's not enough. And that's okay. That's okay. So it's just one of those things. I'm in a shame spiral right now, but I'm gonna get over it. It'll be fine. It'll be okay. I'm still a good mom. It's okay. But that's the dream that I had that I just had to like pop with a bubble.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah, they say that like, oh, breastfeeding is the most natural thing you'll ever do. Well, it didn't feel natural to me at all. Like it felt really weird.
mhm.
Uh, I think it took me a while to get into it, and then I was like, okay, I can see how this is a bonding thing. But the first time I was like, okay, what's going on? What's happening here? This is weird. This feels funny. And then I didn't realize that your milk doesn't actually come in till like 3 or 4 days or something after you give birth. And so then when I first started like pumping and I saw milk, I was like, whoa, this is so weird.
Yeah. And my thing too is when I just had Lillian, I thought I had no time, but now I definitely have no time. And it's to the point where I haven't been eating. Like I haven't been eating to the point where I will get up from sitting and like my head will rush and I'll get like a pounding headache for a second. And if you're not eating, you're not going to produce anything anyway. So if I don't have time to eat, like I definitely shouldn't be concerned about pumping milk because nothing's going to come out anyway. And then it's just frustrating and I just shame myself more. So it's just, it's better to,
Mhm.
yeah. So I haven't been eating, which is not good. But I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, because you got to have nutrition coming from somewhere.
My psychiatrist was actually like, you should just start drinking protein shakes. Like
Hmm.
just make yourself a protein shake. And I bought like a thing of super greens powder. And so he said, yeah, just do that. Cause the less you eat, the less you have an appetite to eat. And so then it's just like you're never hungry. And so that started happening to me. And so he's like, okay, we'll just do protein shakes until you get it all back. And then, it's just I look in the kitchen and I'm just like, oh, like I don't want to eat anything. I don't know. And then everything like takes time. And time is so precious right now. Like so when Lily's napping, I'm like, I don't want to waste my time cooking food. Like that's dumb. I could be doing something else, but I just end up watching TV.
Yeah, when Mike's not home and it's just me and the girls and I'm not going to make a giant lasagna for me and my girls to eat, like, because he's been gone for a few days on a trip. So we had like pizza. I'll just like make breakfast for lunch. They think that's so cool because it's just fast. It's easy. It's quick. And if I'm all by myself, I will literally just eat a bag of popcorn. And I'm like, meh, I'm fine. And even then I'm like, I don't really feel like making this. 3 minutes is like, oh, so long, you know? So I don't know. It's just, it's weird. Being a mom, it's weird. Your eating habits change, you know?
Yeah.
And then, okay, so before you had kids, did you have like a Pinterest board with all your dreams of like what motherhood was going to look like? I feel like we all had like the Pinterest board with like our weddings,
Yeah.
and, like
I
our
was just about to say
home.
wedding. Like I had the wedding one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then we had like my future baby or whatever. And I went
Yeah.
through mine and I was like, oh my word, that was so cheesy. I thought I was going to do all these things. And I was like, I've done a couple of those, but you know, if my 18-year-old self could go back, like, no, Brittany, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I wanted to make baby food from scratch. Like that was the thing too. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and just buy all fresh produce and then steam it. And like, you know, I have a friend who would do that with her son. So I was like, oh yeah, me too. Like I'm totally gonna do that too. Yeah, no.
Yeah, and like then they had the baby bullet, right? With like the little
Yeah.
smiley face on it. Yeah. Yeah, and it was supposed to be so easy.
Yeah. So like that, yeah, that didn't happen. So you know, I mean, they literally sell like $1 jars of pureed veggies at the store, and they're $1, and there's nothing weird in it. It's just the one vegetable, and it's already done. And so that's what I do. Like, and that's what I did for Lillian, and that's probably what I'm gonna do for Holly once she starts solids. I don't know, just my dreams of making baby food from scratch. Like, who am I, Martha Stewart? Like I mean, let's be, I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice. Like I would feel really accomplished, but I don't know. It's just the time thing. Like I don't have time. And plus like postpartum depression also makes you feel like you just don't want to do anything anyway. So even if you wanted to, like you no longer want to. So I had to get over that really quickly.
I actually scored a baby bullet on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh,
It was like
nice.
$20. I was like, sweet. So I bought it. And I used it a handful of times, but honestly, my kids liked eating what's the brand? It's the baby jar, but it's like fat on the bottom and skinny on the top.
Beech nut.
Yeah, beech nut. They ended up eating a lot of that and they liked that better than my homemade stuff. And I was like offended. I was like, oh, I like steamed these turnips
I
and put like
slaved
cinnamon.
over the stove for this.
Yeah, and I'm like, I went to like Trader Joe's, okay? And I didn't even like it. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So I'm pretty sure I just gave my baby bullet away for free because I was like so upset. I used it for guac. I'd make guacamole for me with it.
Yummy. Yeah, like that's the thing is we don't, I feel like when we have all these thoughts and all these ideas and all these dreams, like we don't take into account that you're gonna have a person with their own opinions and their own tastes and their own whatever. And so like your dreams might not work out for your kid that you have, you know, and it's frustrating, but it's just one of those things you kind of have to go with whatever happens, you know. Like I mean that's why I'm so like I call myself a laissez-faire mom, because I'm just like I'm just gonna take things as they come. I'm just gonna wing it because everything's like a, you know, sometimes it's a shit show, and like, you know, you just have to be able to like you just have to take things as they come. Like I feel like planning too much causes more stress, and I'm already so prone to stress that I'm like I really need to limit the amount of things that will stress me out. And motherhood is definitely one of those things that there's always stress somewhere. So wherever I can cut those corners, I'm just going to do it and it's going to be fine, you know, and nobody is allowed to judge me for that.
Yeah. Another thing is baby books.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought I was going to make each of my girls their own baby book, like scrapbook, like not even buy a pre-made baby book. I was just going to scrapbook it.
Ooh, nice.
Oh my God. And I'm like, I'm on maternity leave for like 2 months. I'm going to have all this time. You know? And I did like maybe 5 pages, and then I never finished it. And then I found it recently when I was spring cleaning, and I found Clara's old baby book, and I was like, oh my goodness, I even forgot I ever tried this. And I think I tore out like 2 pages or something that I thought were really sweet, and then the others I just tossed it. And then, funny story, my mom actually gave me my old baby book, and she didn't even finish it. It was like she did like to like month 3, and I was like, oh, this is when she rolled over the first time, this was her first food, or I can't remember what they all were, but not even my first year is documented. And I'm like, really, Mom? Like, I don't want this. Like, why do I have this? Why did you keep this for 30 some years? So I feel like it's a really great business to be in, because it's not like a lot of people are going to finish the book and then like leave a bad review on Amazon. Like, oh, well, wait till you get to the 8th month. There's just not enough space to write blah, blah, blah. You just literally slap a cute notebook together with like some baby pictures on the front, and bam, sell it for $20. It's so easy.
Yeah. There
Like,
you go.
why am I not doing this?
Yeah, we should start a business.
Yeah, no one ever finishes a baby book. If anyone listening has finished a baby book, please let us know, and like you'll get an award or something. We'll make you an award.
We'll send a medal in the mail.
Absolutely. I will make you an award. I will, it might take me 9 months to do it, but I'll make you an award and mail it out eventually.
Oh man, yeah, eventually, because yeah, I'm actually surprised. So I mentioned that I like have a journal of letters that I've been writing to Lily. I'm actually amazed that I've been able to keep up with that, because so sometimes like I'll like forget a day or something. I'll be like, oh crap. Yeah, so I'm amazed I'm able to keep up with that. And I just started Holly's because she's 3 weeks old now, and I wanted to start hers like the same time that I started Lily, so that like, I don't know, I have it in my head that like Holly's or Lily's gonna be jealous because like, oh, why does she get 11 the day she's born and I don't, like just dumb thoughts in my head. So I had to start it at 2 weeks. So I wrote that letter, but yeah, I'm really, really hoping that I can, because that's something that I really love and that I'm really like proud of that I'm doing. So I'm hoping that I can keep up with those. But I'm also like super aware of the fact that things just come up, and I'm super busy. So yeah, I'm just crossing my fingers that I'll be able to, because I plan on giving it to them when they're adults, like at some milestone, like if they get married, or if they don't want to get married some other time. But and so I don't know, I think it'd be really cool to like have a whole box of journals with letters starting from when they were 2 weeks old. I don't know.
I got Clara one of those Dr. Seuss books, Oh, the Places You'll Go.
Oh yeah.
And I tried every year when she was in daycare and then through preschool to have each of her teachers write a little something and sign it, because I saw that on Pinterest and it looked like a great idea. Now, at least for this year, I'm her teacher, so I can kind of get away with it, but I can't find the book now. And she's graduating kindergarten, and I'm like, oh crap, where is that thing? Because everyone is posting about it again on Facebook. And I'm like, okay, you know what? It's okay, because I'm her teacher. So when I do find it, I'll just write something, and it's fine if it's like next year. as long as I do it. Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, one of Lily's letters definitely has the wrong date on it. Because I forgot about it, and then I was like, oh crap, I have to like do her monthly letter. So I was like, it's totally 5 days ago. Yeah, totally. I didn't forget. Because by the time she reads it, it's not like I'm gonna remember.
Oh no.
There's a lot of planning, I feel like, that goes in, because especially, not so much Holly, but with Lily, like I feel like the first pregnancy that's really when you're like, oh man, like I'm gonna plan everything, I'm gonna do whatever. And so I don't know, it becomes unrealistic. And so I don't know. I feel bad sometimes because my anxiety is like, oh man, like you're such a lazy mom because blah blah blah. But I don't know, like I do a lot of stuff. I'm actually really confident in my mothering abilities. Like I'm really confident in myself as a mom. Like this is the only job I've ever had that I've been like fully confident in. Like I feel like I'm a really good mom, but then there's those moments where like, yeah, you're a good mom, but you don't make baby food. But look at this thing you said you were going to do, you never did it. like blah blah. I don't know. It's just this stupid anxiety is stupid.
Yeah, it's that inner voice, that we talk bad about ourselves to ourselves and we beat ourselves up. And partly I think it's because we're just trying to be better people. We're trying to be better moms, but it gets to a point where it just like defeats us, and then you don't want to do anything. And it makes it worse. And then it's not helpful. It's like kind of like how football coaches and other sports coaches, like they have to approach different members on the team differently. Like some coaches can just like yell in your face and scream and you're like, yeah, okay. And then you just like take off and you make the 3-pointer on basketball. And then other ones, they'll yell at you and you're like, ah! And you just lose it and you cry. And then they're like, okay, go sit on the bench. So
I'm the second one. That's me. If someone yells at me, I'm like, oh.
yeah. I automatically go into it's self-preservation and almost damage control mode. Like I am not quick on my feet. I just want to contain as much damage as possible. Whereas I've had other friends who are like, oh, well, I would have said this and then that and da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But I don't think that fast on my feet. I just take it and I'm trying to like calm everybody down so I can step back and then look at it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
This is going to sound weird, but another thing I thought I would never do, I was not going to be one of those moms who always dressed her girls in pink bows and frilly dresses and sparkles all the time. I'm like, oh no, not because like I'm an extreme feminist or anything like that, but I'm like, girls can do anything, and I don't want her being in a little princess dress all the time. I want her to feel capable and like she can accomplish anything and it's not all princess and frills all the time. And Claire is kind of like that, where she can run around in pants and she's occasionally will dress up, but Molly is full on tutu and satin city, like sparkle everywhere she goes. Like she leaves a trail of glitter. Like it's hilarious because I'll run into my husband at school in the middle of the day after he's taught high school and he comes up to me and there'll be like glitter on his face from where you like hugged her goodbye that morning or whatever. And it's just so funny. And I'm like, sometimes I'll say something, I'll brush it off, and other times I just leave it there because I think it's cute. I'm like, you know what? If she wants to wear a princess dress, who cares? Just let her do her thing. It's fine. And each of my girls already have their own style, even though they're only 6 years old and 3 years old. It's so funny how they develop it that quickly. And I'm like, I'm not going to push what I think they should be wearing on them. Like, obviously I want them to be appropriate. If she wants to wear the unicorn shirt, fine, wear the unicorn shirt. If she wants to wear the shorts, then fine. But I just had this vision in my head that if I dress them up in these frilly dresses and tutus all the time, then they're not going to be capable. But that's totally not true, because Molly will be dressed up like Fancy Nancy, and she'll like be climbing one of those climbing walls at the park and like going on, not the monkey bars, but just running around like she's not all dressed up. Like she doesn't care. You know, it's funny too to watch her run because the tutu just goes like flying up and down. It's like a big pom-pom bouncing around the playground and I love it. But
I also was like, I'm not going to dress her in all pink. I don't want her nursery to be pink. Like I don't want too much pink. But like they sell really cute pink stuff. Like that's my it's as simple as that. Like they sell really cute stuff for really girly girls, But I wanted to add too, so you were saying how Molly is really girly and stuff. So Lily is too. So she's she'll be 2 next month, so she's even younger, but she'll put on like we have she's got like headbands and like bows that my mom bought her, and she's always putting them on. And she's got like this little cat purse and she's always like wearing that and stuff. And so I'm like, you're a little girly girl already, I don't know, it's cute, but. This episode is sponsored by Children's Business Fair. Do you know an extraordinary child, a budding superstar who's ready to take on the world and who loves to have fun? If so, he or she deserves a chance to shine at the Children's Business Fair, a one-day event where young people can launch and showcase a business. You'll be amazed by what children can accomplish, and it's a great way to bring neighbors together amid sunshine and laughter. At a children's business fair, children will make something with their own hands, sell it safely to a stranger, and experience the freedom and responsibility of having a little extra spending money as a reward. It takes less than 10 minutes to apply and as little as 3 hours to plan a fair. Just set up a few tables on a lawn and send a few emails to friends and family. You can host a fair for free, and they'll even chip in up to $500 as prize money. Sound too simple? Join parents who want to equip and inspire their children to shine in the real world. Start your audition to host a children's business fair in your community, or find out more at podcast.childrensbusinessfair.org. So the biggest one is I didn't think I'd be one of those no moms. I was like, you're not supposed to say no. I say no all the time. Like, I say no a lot. Like, I mean, we talked about this last episode, but I mean, it works here too. I was like, oh yeah, no, they tell you to speak differently and stuff. There's no time. Like, when your kid is like climbing the walls and about to kill themselves, you say no, because it's like you're like, like, no, don't do that. You know, when Holly is on the couch on her boppy and Lily's about to squash her like a bug, no, like, don't do that. You know, 2 letters is a lot quicker,
right,
than like a 10 sentence or 10 word sentence about, you know, I don't know. So, I mean, that's something I also feel bad about quite often, is how often I say no to Lily, but, you know, I just.
Yeah. Well, because if it's something that's happening like right now and you have to stop the thing, then you have to say no. But if they're like in the middle of a big meltdown, then I try and stop and talk to my kids. But then, yeah, there's other times they're in the middle of a meltdown and I'm on a schedule, right? And I'm trying to get to the next thing on time. And if I don't get on time, then I'm going to miss the thing. And sometimes you just got to drag them along and be like, you know what, I'm sorry, you're having a bad day, but we're going. Like, just get in the car. Like, I will put you in the car kicking and screaming, you know.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happens. I've become a lot less judgmental now that I am a mom. Like, before, I'd be in the grocery store and you'd always hear that one kid 3 aisles over who's like screaming because they want a banana or the cereal. And I'm like, oh, well, if that was my kid, I would just whatever perfect scenario I have in my head. But I've been that mom with the screaming kid. And I'm like, oh my word, like, do I leave? Do I just leave my cart, or do I just keep going? Because I have to get these things, or what do I do? She's screaming, what do I do? So I've become a lot less judgmental and just kind of like do that symbol that they do in Hunger Games, like with the 2 fingers.
Yeah, the 2 fingers. Oh my God.
Like, I salute you.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes you think of like, I mean, it's great that you were able to like learn humility and stuff, but I mean, some women just don't. Like,
Oh yeah.
like, you know, they've been there too, but they still judge you and they still shame you, and it's like, really? Like, you've never been in this situation before? Like, I mean, what? Yeah.
I've had a couple of very difficult parents for school and daycare, and you know, oh, well, they would never do that. I'm like, are you serious right now? Because I have it on footage. We have like security cameras, and I have this on footage. So don't tell me your kid would never do X, Y, or Z, because they have.
Yeah.
So it's just, we have this perfect little Pinterest board of what we want it to look like. But then reality hits. But for some people, I think they just want to stay on that perfect little, that perfect little picture. But life isn't perfect, and that's part of what makes it interesting, and part of what makes it fun is the little bumps in the road that you weren't expecting and how they kind of bounce you around a little bit. I like to embrace the imperfections, because if everything worked out so perfectly all the time, I'd be bored out of my mind, honestly. Yeah.
And you wouldn't learn anything. It's I mean, all these bumps in the road, they're learning experiences, And so, like, I mean, I love that. I love learning, and I love, knowing that I can handle any situation that comes at me, right? Like, if anything, everything is so perfect and cookie cutter, like, there's no there's no drama, there's nothing to deal with, there's no jumping into action, whatever, you just kind of are coasting, and yeah, it's boring. So
Mhm.
yeah, so I mean, I kind of like that things didn't quite work out the way I thought they would, because it's new, it's it's different, it's an adventure. I don't know.
Yeah, another thing I thought I was gonna do, and you might not have gotten too much into this, but you will. I thought they were gonna have all 5 food groups in their lunch boxes, and I was gonna cut them up in all cute little shapes. Have you seen those little bento boxes on like Instagram
Yes.
and Pinterest? And they have like the little rice that they shape into like a panda.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, they're so cute. The little kawaii. Oh my word, those lunches are just adorable. And then I buy some clothes from this app called Shine. I know I'm saying it wrong. It's SHEIN. It's
Mhm.
I think it's from China, and it's very inexpensive. And I buy a lot of clothes from them, but they also have a lot of kitchen stuff, and they'll have stuff, little tools to make these cute little kawaii lunches, like the little molds and the little tiny forks,
Oh,
and
that's so cute.
they're so cute. But you're spending 30 minutes making this tiny little lunch that the kids are just either not going to eat at all,
Yeah.
or it's going to get all bumped around in their backpack on the way to school, or they're just going to smash into it anyway. So what's the point?
Yeah.
But I thought, oh yeah, they're going to have their little carrots and their little apple juice, and then they're going to have a little cheese. And no, it's not like that at all. Like I, I have, I make sure they have like a granola bar and some kind of fruit. Sometimes it's a fruit cup and it's not fresh fruit. Sorry. And
Yeah.
sometimes I don't have time to make a sandwich. So I just throw the deli meat in there and the cheese. And I'm like, here you go. There's your lunch. you know, and like they have enough to eat and it's fine. But I look at these other Instagram moms who post their kids' lunches and I'm like, oh, that looks so good. But I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that.
Yeah,
No.
that mom probably did that like one time for the picture, and then like
Yeah.
like we don't know, and that's what I like hate about Instagram, is like you don't actually know. But like I also love Instagram because, I just like looking at pictures of babies and cats.
Oh yeah.
That's my thing. But yeah, so yeah, I thought of that too. I was like, man, like Lily, I mean, she's not going to they're not school lunches yet, but like the lunches and dinners that we make, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have like several different types of veggies and like a bunch of like healthy stuff. Like we make her the same 3 meals. Like we just rotate. Like, and I mean, we feed her bologna because here's the thing, Lily does not like a whole bunch of different types of meat. And that's the thing, is like, kids are gonna like what they're gonna like. So no matter what your thoughts are going in, like, oh yeah, they're gonna have this and it's gonna be so healthy. Like, what if they don't like it?
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll cut up some bologna and then some cheese and then like fruit, and then we'll give her corn or something. Or today was chicken nuggets, but it's always the same kind of thing. But I really thought that there'd be a wider variety of stuff. And sometimes Paul is like, you really need to start buying her, more variety of stuff. And I'm like, but she won't eat it.
Yeah. I spent
She
all
won't
this
eat it.
money and then I spent all this time cutting up the vegetables to be toddler size,
Yeah.
and then they don't eat it. And I'm like, okay, what
Yeah.
am I going to do with this now? So then I end up eating it. Like my kids would do this all the time. We'd go to Costco or Sam's Club and they would try a sample of a thing
Mhm.
and they'd be like, oh, we love this. I'm like, awesome. So I'll buy the Costco size box of graham crackers or whatever it is. And then we get it home and oh, I don't like it anymore. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So then who ends up going to school with the gummies? It's mommy. I'm sitting there with the other teachers trying to be all cool. I pull out Welch's gummies from my lunch. I'm like,
Hey, those
they
are
won't eat
good.
them. Yeah, I'm like, whatever. Dino nuggets. I eat these. Yeah, they're good. It's fine.
Those dino nuggets are good too.
I mean,
I kind of
if you
like them
stick them
better
in
than like the normal shape ones. Like the
yeah, I don't know
golden
what
ones.
it is.
Yeah, I
How
don't
they I don't like the circle ones. I like the dinosaur ones. I know. So, and you put them in a sandwich with some lettuce and mayonnaise, and no one needs to know. So it's fine.
know.
Oh man. Yeah, I also remember Clara's first diaper bag. I think I had 2 diaper bags, and those things were always like so organized, like at the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
And I would have so many outfits and bibs and toys and so much formula or breast milk. Like we're going out for 30 minutes, We're just going out to go to the post office. And I'm like, well, I better have 5 bottles because what if we break down and we can't get help? And now I think there's a pull up in the car, maybe, and I'm kind of risking it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Yes.
I tried to be good, and I had a box that I packed in the car, and it had like Band-Aids and flashlights and whatever. And I'm like, I'll throw an outfit in here, which I did. But then my kids severely outgrew that outfit, and I needed it one time. And I'm like, oh, this is a 3-month, and
Oh
you're like
no.
2. Okay. And I made it work. But yeah, those first time mom things, you become an expert, like the commercial says, and you're just like, yeah, this is fine, this works.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like the commercial where like the first time mom is, she has the resume for the babysitter and she all the numbers and all the stuff, and then like the second one she just tosses the kid at the babysitter. She's like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
That's just so for me it was like that. It didn't even wait for the second kid. Like that was like by like when Lily was 6 months, I was already like, okay. Like I was joking around with one of my mom friends a long time ago, and I was like, man, the amount of times I say whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
She eats something off the floor, whatever, it's fine. Like, building immunity, like I'm just, I don't know what it is. I very quickly was just like, she's alive.
Yeah.
I'm alive. We're all alive. We're okay.
I love it when like I spend so much time with my kids, and then I have expectations, and then I learn what real life is, and I just kind of like let things go. And then my husband will walk in and he's like, oh, they're doing whatever the thing is. And he'll be like, oh, okay, are you letting them do that? I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. Like, we had to quarantine for a few days because my daughter had been exposed to the thing. I'm not going to say it because it triggers people, but we ended up being fine. But we were home and I had nothing for them to do. So I gave them whiteboard markers because I'm a teacher. So I just have those on hand all the time. So I gave them whiteboard markers, and they just let them color all over the windows because then you just wipe it off and it's like no big deal. And he walked in, he's like, oh, they're coloring on the windows. I'm like, yeah. Oh, look, Claire wrote her sight words over there, and Molly's like making letter M. Isn't that cool? And he's like, you're letting them do that? I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Lily has a thing of the egg crayons, and I found out that those things are awesome, and they come off of literally any surface with baby wipes, except for walls. So for the wall, I had to buy a magic eraser, but then it came off. But anyway, any surface. So I mean, at the beginning, I was like, no, don't color on the floor. But then you're just like, whatever, like, go for it. And so, like, Paul walks in and he's like, is she coloring on the floor right now? And I'm like, yeah. And then Paul's like, okay, but isn't that bad? And I'm like, it comes off with a baby wipe. Like, just let her be a kid. Like, like, just whatever. It'll be fine. It's just, that's a problem for future Lisa. Like, present time Lisa, current Lisa is fine with it.
Oh, I did not know how versatile baby wipes were, but they're awesome.
Oh, yes.
Like, I mean, it's not just for diapers. Like,
no,
it spills in the car or just like a random scuff mark. I'm like, I've got a baby wipe here. I'll just grab that. I use them to take off my makeup at the end of the day. I use them a lot at kindergarten just because we're messy. And Molly's potty trained now, but I still have a ton of baby wipes. And I'm like, man, after I go out of this stockpile, I'm probably gonna have to buy some more because I use these all the time.
So I told my friend a long time ago that the day you realize that baby wipes can be used for more than just baby butts is the day your life begins. Because oh my god, like my stove was dirty the other day, and I just used a baby wipe, and then like all the stuff came off of the stovetop, and I was like, this is amazing. like why does no one do this? Like, nobody knows about baby wipes until they have a baby. But like, I want everyone to know, like, if you're listening and you don't have children, buy baby wipes. They're awesome.
Yeah. Because they're probably a little cheaper than having to buy the Clorox wipes all the time.
Yeah.
And obviously they're not going to disinfect, but like my kids are just gross when they brush their teeth. I don't know how they get toothpaste all over the bathroom, but they do. And I just grab a baby wipe and I have to scrub a little bit, but that comes right off. And then I just toss it and my bathroom is like perfectly clean. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that's definitely something that I didn't know about before I became a mom.
Hmm.
I don't even remember how I found it out either. I think like one day I don't know. I think I just tried it once because I like didn't have anything on hand, and then like the thing came off, and I was like,
Like, what is in these baby wipes? Because
I
they
was like,
have
oh
to
my
be
god,
gentle enough
my life
for the
changed
baby's
forever.
skin, you know.
Yeah.
But then they get everything off. It's like a magic eraser. It's so weird. What's in this?
We all have aspirations and dreams, you know. I mean, dreams are great. You know, they make us happy, but yeah, no, then reality sets in. And then you have to adjust and you have to be able to like you have to realize that, you know, some things aren't going to be exactly the way you want them to be, and that's okay. It's just something you gotta deal with, and it's gonna be okay, and we're gonna be fine, and we're all in this together. You
Just
know.
roll with it.
Yeah, just you know, it's good. It is all good, mamas.
Hmm.
I never made baby food from scratch, but I'm still a good mom.
Hmm.
I didn't breastfeed either of my children. I'm still a good mom, you know.
Hmm.
Life isn't a Pinterest board. I guess.
That's good. That's a good quote. I like that one.
Yeah.
I was a perfect parent before I became a mom.
I love that quote because that's like perfect. You know, we were all perfect parents until we actually were thrown into the job, and then we sort of
Hmm.
had to be like, oh, hey, nobody knows what's going on. Cool.
Nobody knows what they're doing. No.